What's up, Bama Insider Nation? Trey Yanity back for another post-spring practice player update. Today we're going to be talking about freshman wide receiver Agiye Hall. Before we get into this video, guys, hit that like button for me, subscribe to our channel, and head to BamaInsider.com for all things Alabama Crimson Tide. Agiye Hall is originally from Valrico, Florida, where he attended Bloomington High School. And in high school, Hall was a consensus 4-star pick by all major outlets. On Rivals.com, he was ranked 69th nationally, the number 13 wide receiver in the country, and the number 16 player from the state of Florida. Of course, guys, he was selected to play in the Under Armour All-American game and had a lot of offers on the table. He had 40 plus, including Georgia, LSU, Michigan, Miami, and Oregon, but ultimately decided to choose Alabama. That wasn't always the case, guys. Back when quarantine started at the beginning of 2020, a lot of signs were pointing that Hall would join the LSU Tigers for the fall of 2021, but after conceded efforts by Nick Saban and the rest of his staff when quarantine started, Hall decided that Alabama was a little bit more committed to him than LSU or these other schools and decided that he would commit to the Crimson Tide as well. Now, Hall had a bit of a different high school career. He played his first 3 seasons at Armwood High School and then decided to enroll at IMG Academy, the famed high school athletics mecca, but he never played a game at IMG. He ended up switching over to Bloomingdale High School there in Valrica, where he would finish out his career before joining the Crimson Tide this past spring. Not only was Hall an unbelievable high school receiver, but he was a great recruiter for the Crimson Tide as well. He was able to get Christian Leary, another unbelievably talented 4-star wide receiver, to commit to Alabama from Edgewater High School nearby, and did recruiting efforts on other receivers and other players in the class of 2021 as well. Now, as Agiye Hall comes onto the scene here, and we're going to talk about A-Day in just a minute, an unbelievable effort there in the spring game. What are people looking at when they're scouting a guy like Agiye Hall? The first thing I want to highlight, Agiye Hall is an unbelievably physical receiver. As you watch here in the tape, Hall goes up in double coverage, triple coverage even at times, back in high school, and still is able to make the play. The second thing I want to highlight, Agiye Hall is one of the most athletic wide receivers on this team. An unbelievable vertical we saw it showcased there in the A-Day game and throughout these high school clips as well. Not only is he able to body his defender most of the time, but he's athletic enough to usually outjump his defender and put himself in position to make the play. Acrobatics is a word you may use. We saw that several times there, not just in A-Day, but in the scrimmages this spring as well. Throughout spring practice, really the trait that has kind of gotten Agiye Hall recognized so far, his athleticism, his ability to make those acrobatic catches near the sideline. The third thing I want to highlight, his soft hands. Agiye Hall reminds me immediately of Sammy Watkins. Not the size, not the physicality, but his hands. I got to see Sammy Watkins play before he ever started his college career, and I have a very similar feeling right now when I watch Agiye Hall play. You look back to one of these clips we showed earlier in the video, he's in double coverage, spins around after the ball is tipped, and somehow tips it up to himself to make the catch. Very soft hands, steady hands. That has really complemented his athleticism and physicality well. The last point I want to highlight, Agiye Hall has deadly acceleration. In high school, they'd run a decent bit of go route. You didn't see him going over the middle a ton. A lot of stop and start routes. The speed, I would say, matches the rest of this wide receiving core, but his acceleration, his stop and start, really sets him apart in a wide receiving group, a freshman wide receiving group that is very deep. Is going to have a lot of opportunity. We've talked about it a lot here, but you look at this core, John Mechie, Javon Baker, probably Slade Bolden, maybe Xavier Williams, Jamison Williams. There's a lot of names vying for spots right now. And after A-Day, Agiye Hall is certainly at the forefront of that. You look back to that spring game just a couple months ago now. As far as receivers go, Agiye Hall was the MVP. We saw some unbelievable catches, no touchdowns on the day, but really opened the door for playing time in 2021. There's a lot of names coming into this program, like Christian Leary, a guy we talked about just a few days ago. And now transfers coming in, like Jamison Williams. But Agiye Hall, as far as the freshman goes, separated himself, and I think will be the first freshman called on at that spot. Hall is athletic, Hall is long, quick, has unbelievable hands, and can really do it all. And we're just beginning to see what he is capable of at Alabama. 2021 is going to be a fun season. This offense isn't going to get the hype that they received last year, but guys like Agiye Hall are going to bring it back and really turn some heads this season. Before we get out of here, guys, hit that like button one more time for me. Subscribe to our channel and check out the rest of the page for everything Alabama Crimson Tide. For Bama Insider, my name is Trey Yanity. This has been a post-spring player update on wide receiver Agiye Hall.